Hey, 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 welcome to another webisode of Everything. Today is the day I present to you the iMac G4. 15 years later, bought in 2002, my very first ticket to the Apple train, and I'm riding that train to the very end. Let's take a look at the iMac G4, also known as the Bubble Mac, 15 years later. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this to me is still the best looking desktop ever created. I mean, she's a little yellow at this point. It used to be a nice pearly white. But still, design wise, amazing, innovative. They really did a great job in presenting the future in 2002. She's booting up right now. Haven't booted her up in quite a while, making some funky sounds. She is turning on, and if you guys can believe it or not, this is the original keyboard from 2002, immaculate condition, Windex. But just comparing the two models, 2002, 2016, 2002, 2016. Quite the difference. And we are in. What a sight for sore eyes. I guess I should plug in the mouse. I have oh, look at that. If it isn't Mr. White himself, nobody fucks with a blowfish. You goddamn right. Original mouse, the Mighty Mouse, and latest edition, the Magic Mouse. Again, you guys can't really see this, but this is kind of discolored, pretty yellow looking. This one's still in decent shape. We have the Magic Mouse. Those are generations right there, people. Let's take a look if the disc tray even works. Look at that. Do you guys even know what a disc tray is, kids? Yeah. Go back in. I'm pretty sure it does not even work. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. I mean, so far she's running quite smooth. We're running Mac OS X 10.4. I believe that is Leopard, possibly. I don't even remember. But she behaves quite well compared to Sierra, what I'm running right now. But, I mean, responsiveness is quite amazing. You guys will remember these old school about menus, if it ever loads. I mean, look at this, just a ton of information on the side. You have to go into every single one. Now, you're not going to believe this for you kids out there, but no Bluetooth. And even worse, no Wi-Fi. Oh my God. How would I ever connect to the internet ever? I would have to hardwire this thing straight to a LAN cable. But of course, with the Mac Mini running Sierra, you don't have to worry about any of that. You got your Bluetooth, you got your Wi-Fi, you got your everything. But this machine is running very smoothly, as it would have back in 2002. Response time and loading is quite good. I mean, look at that. Compared to pretty much the same. Smooth as balls. The System Profiler is still on. I mean, remember that? System Profiler. That's hilarious. Now, I had to go ahead and set up my trusty iPad because I had my keyboard plugged in to the G4. And this app is fantastic. Remote Mouse gives you a mouse and a keyboard in one if you need it for your iMac or MacBook or Mac Mini, as I'm running right here. But in terms of 15 years later, I mean, not really much has changed. You still have the same dock. The icons have been updated. I know I changed these icons myself. Safari has the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy symbol. I'd love to go ahead and test out the internet, but I don't have a LAN cable down here, so I guess we're shit out of luck on that one. But I mean, she runs, she turns on, she looks smooth. The response time is fantastic. For a machine that's 15 years old, I mean, you could still run this thing like a beast. I did try and download Google Chrome at one point, but as you can see, Google Chrome is way too advanced for a 2002 machine. Still can't get enough of Walter White, giving me the stank eye right there. But I can't even drag and drop this into applications. That's how old this thing is. And if I try and open it, it won't do anything. In terms of the Apple Pro mouse, or Mouse Pro that they called it, things in really good shape. I mean, there you go, Pro mouse. A little dirty, I mean, that's expected for 15 years later, but still running like a champ. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this computer except that it's old, and she's gotten a little yellow in her old age. Still a beautiful aluminum body here. This was plastic. Now, it took me a little bit of time going through all the menus here. I couldn't actually find a spot where it shows the storage. Unlike in Sierra, super easy, you just click on storage. I have 1 terabyte here. I actually had to go into my HDD, also named Frank, and take a look there. Now, as you can see, the storage is 76.69 gig. So that's about 80 gigs worth of storage from 2002. Not a bad deal, but for 80 gigabytes of storage, I believe I paid close to $3,000 when this first came out. So that is, it's quite insane that the next iPhone, which I'll be getting, will have 128 gigabyte of storage minimum. And that's the iPhone 8, which I cannot wait to get my hands on. But I mean, going through the menus, you know, you don't really have much going on here. The most interesting is the memory, which I believe I upgraded myself. And that's running a 512 and a 256, and that's DDR SDRAM. 8 gigabytes, 1600 megahertz DDR3. So it's quite a difference 15 years later, and why wouldn't it be? So let's go ahead and load up iTunes, see how long this takes. Going to click it there, and we're going to click it here. Should pop up quite quickly. Oh, this one is up. Look at that. The speed is quite phenomenal for 15 years later. I mean, that's how crisp and clean Apple keeps things. I mean, I could definitely use this PC. Oh, it is open there. I just did not have it on full screen. But in terms of loading times, that was quite fast. I'm quite impressed. I thought it would have quite a bit of lag in terms of loading up an application. I mean, there's not really any music left in this. I believe I ported all of this out over the years to my MacBook Pro and now to my Mac Mini. But loading times were quite impressive. So I ended up going back and taking a look, and I did find all of my old software. I do have Lion and Snow Leopard, but unfortunately, my sad disk tray does not work. I inserted the disk and nothing happened, which means it's burnt out at this point. I did have to switch out this disk drive, I remember, probably 10 years ago, but it has ceased to work since then. She does open and close, but there's nothing going on inside. The one thing that I would love to do is I would love to take this display somehow disconnected from the body of the Mac and actually use it as a secondary display. I've been looking this up online and I can't actually find anywhere to do it, but it would be so sick if I could stick this display next to this computer up on this wall and use it as a second display. I think that would be an absolute dream to be able to figure that out. But there's no ports, obviously. Everything is connected and everything runs through there. So I'm pretty sure it is possible, but I'd probably have to rewire this entire display. Might look into that, might actually make a video doing that if I can find the right way to do it. Because we are running a 1440 by 900 display, so why not? Why not hang an old iMac display on the wall like a picture frame and use it as a second screen if I can? That would be amazing. Well, there you have it. 15 years later, and the iMac G4 is still purring like a goddamn kitten. This is Bruiser. I got him the same time I got the iMac. The only difference is that beast still has its teeth. This poor little guy doesn't. Get out of here, you old bastard. I don't know what else to say. Apple makes things to last. 15 years later, hail to the goddamn king. I brought her out of retirement, so you can go ahead and hit subscribe and hit like. That's all I gotta say about that. Yeah, I vape.